Hello everyone, I'm Paul and today we're solving problem 2402, meeting rooms free. This is hard, but the key here is observation, so let's start. We're given an integer n, which represents rooms numbered from 0 to n-1, and we are also given a 2D integer array meetings, where each meeting has a start time and an end time. Our job is here. We need to return the number of the room that held the most meetings. And if there are multiple rooms, we need to return the room with the lowest number. And this is how meetings take place. Each meeting takes place in the unused room with the lowest number. If there are no available rooms, the meeting will be delayed until the room becomes free. And when a room becomes free, meetings that have the earlier original start time should be given to the room. So the first observation here is that we can sort meetings because meetings that have an earlier original start time should be given to the room. So the first step will be this. Now another observation is that we are always prioritizing unused rooms with the lowest number. So we can get an unused room with the lowest number with a priority queue or min heap. So here we will have all the rooms that are available, and given that this is a min heap, the room with the lowest number will be first, and every time we pop something from this, we take the unused room with the lowest number. And finally, if there are no available rooms, the meeting is delayed until the room becomes free. So we need to find a way to know when are we having the first free room. So we can use another priority queue for rooms that we are using. So this will be initially empty. Now let's say we have this input. We have these meetings. We have 2 rooms only, and these meetings are already sorted by the first element. And here you can see the visual representation of this. For example, this meeting goes from 0 to 10. The problem is here, for example, we have 3 meetings but only 2 rooms. Or even here we have 4 meetings but only 2 rooms. So for this example we have these 2 rooms, and we also have a priority queue for rooms that are available. In this case we start with room 0 and room 1. We also have a priority queue for rooms we are currently using. This is initially empty. And we are iterating these meetings from left to right from index 0 with an I pointer. So we start from this meeting. And first we are checking if we have an available room. In this case we have 2. So we need to pick the room with the lowest number, meaning room 0. So we pop 0 from available, and we need to add the current room here to rooms we are currently using. And this is very important. Here we will add an array of 2 elements, where the first element is the time in which this room will be empty again. Right now is the end time, the current end time. So the first element here is 10. And the second element is the room itself, in this case 0. So we know that we are currently using this room, and this will be empty at time 10. And given that we have 1 meeting in this room now, the result for this room is currently 1. The result for this room is currently 0. Now we are here and we need to follow the same process. We first check if we have a room that's empty, and we have this empty. So we pop this room from available. Now we need to add this room here, so we add an array with 2 values. The first value is the time at which this room will be empty again. In this case it's 5. And the second value is the value for the room, meaning 1. So now we have a meeting in this room up to time 5. And the result for this room is 1 now. Now this is the interesting part. We have a meeting that goes from 2 to 7, but we don't have empty rooms. this room will be free at 10 and this one will be free at 5. But this goes from 2 to 7. So we need to delay this meeting until we have an empty room, and we need to preserve the same duration. So here is 7 minus 2, 5. So we need to preserve this duration. And the first room that will be empty at some point is this one, because 5 is smaller than 10. So we need to add the duration of this meeting in the room that will be empty first. So we do 5 plus 5, and this is 10. So we replace this with 10. And we need to add one meeting to this room, so this is now 2. And this is the key for this problem. This is why we are using a priority queue here. We need to pop the first element in this priority queue, and remember, whenever we have arrays in a priority queue, we are looking first at the first element. And given that 5 is smaller than 10, the first element we pop is this one. And now we need to add another array to this priority queue with the previous time plus the duration for this meeting, meaning 10, meaning this 10, and the current room, meaning 1. Remember, we are at room 1, and it's this one here. Now we're here and we are checking if we have an empty room, and we have no empty rooms. So we need to check in our priority queue for rooms we are using which is the first element. And remember, I told you the first element here is the one which corresponds to the smallest first element, and here we have 10 in both cases. So in this case we check the second element, and 0 is smaller than 1, so we pop this, meaning we are working with room 0. And here we need to add to this the corresponding time for this meeting, and 4 minus 3 is 1. So this is now 11, meaning this room will be empty at 11. We need to add 1 to the result for this room. This is now 2. And we need to add to this priority queue a new array with the new time 11 and the current room 0. Now we update the iPointer and we reach the end. We need to return the room corresponding to the maximum value among this and this, and given that these are equal, we need to return the room with the lowest number. This is the room with the lowest number, so we return 0. Now, one last thing, if we have one more meeting here that goes from 15 to 20, for example, the starting point for this meeting is 15. And here we have 2 elements we are currently using. And given that 15 is greater than 10 and it's greater than 11, we can remove these elements so these rooms become empty again. And of course, these rooms become available again. Time complexity for this approach will be roughly big O of m log m plus m log n, where m is the number of meetings. Remember, we are sorting this initially. And then we are running operations in these meetings with priority queues for rooms. So n is for rooms. And space complexity will be roughly big O of n. So now let's go with the code and hopefully you will get the idea. First available will be a list from this n. So we need to take range n. And using will be an empty array. Result is an array with 0 times n. Remember, here we are storing the amount of times we are using each room. So this is initially 0 for every room. And now for start end in meetings, but remember we need to sort this, so we use sorted here. First, we are filtering our priority queue using. So we can say while we have something in using and using at 0, 0 is smaller or equal to the current starting point, meaning if this is greater or equal to this, what this means is the corresponding room is empty again. So we need to remove this from the priority queue. So we can say time room is heap queue dot heap pop using, and now we need to add to available the corresponding room. So heap queue dot heap push available room. Now, if we have a room available, we can use this room. So room equals heap queue dot heap pop available and heap queue dot heap push. We add to using an array with the time in which this room will be empty again, meaning the current end time, and the corresponding room. Else, meaning if we don't have any room available, time room equals heap queue heap pop using. So we pop the first room from using, and we need to update this room. We are updating the time in which this room will be empty again. Remember our drawing. So heap queue heap push using, and we add the same room, but here we are using time plus n minus start, meaning the duration for this meeting, and the current room. And at each step for each meeting, we need to add to result at the current room a 1. And finally, we need to return the index in the result for the maximum value in the result. Now this works, but I want to show you how to do this part manually also. So we can say the maximum value is 0, the selected room is 0, and now we can say for I x in enumerate result, if the current value is greater than the maximum value is the current value, and the selected room is the current room. And finally, we return selected. So now this is it for the code. You can try this or this, both things work. And now let's submit this and see if it works. As you can see, this works and it's very efficient. So if you found this useful, please drop a like, subscribe, and see you in the next one. Bye bye.